Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Nuclear Revenge. In today's episode, I, 15M, indirectly caused the death of my abusive ex-stepdad. One too many times. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I, 15M, indirectly caused the death of my abusive ex-stepdad. I'm on mobile, so I apologize if this is hard to read. And to any mod, if this isn't Nuclear Revenge enough, then please tell me and I'll post somewhere else. I also will like to state there will be a bit of background information, so if you don't want to read it, skip to the karma. Backstory. When I was 9, my mom met a man who, for the sake of the story, we'll call J.E.J. was an unremarkable man. He was a chef and he was from New York, living in South Philadelphia at the time. My mom, being emotionally unstable, decided to give him a try after lots of past relationships not working out. Seriously, she has a bad taste in men. And I feel it is a good time to mention my dad is dead from a drug overdose. Philadelphia, man, drugs are everywhere. So my mom was desperate for someone to be that guy who was good for her and me. She gives Jay a chance, and out of nowhere, boom, Jay has cancer. Came out of the blue, and my mom's heartstrings were pulled by him and she was attached to him for good. I was 9 at the time, so OFC, I was a stupid kid who never thought my mom could be wrong. Well, I didn't notice her getting black eyes, but my grandfather did. So one day at a corner store in my neighborhood, he decided to beat Jay black and blue. He was stuck on the couch for days, and looking back, it brings a smile to my face. But he convinced my mom that my grandmother, who was manipulative, manipulated my grandfather to beat him up, so we have to move. After an intervention was held, I was there, it was wild. My mom had decided to move. We packed our things in our van and I held my 90-pound Rottweiler on my lap and we moved to Florida. Chapter 2, Florida. I'm gonna admit, life kinda sucked here. For 5 years I was stuck in such a dumpster fire of a state with no family support. My mom was abused daily and I was mostly mentally abused. I also lost my great-grandmother at this time and I wanted to go back to Philly for the funeral, but Jay said no. Eventually in 2021 my mom left Jay. And then the worst night of my life happened. Chapter 3, Halloween 2021. I was still in Florida, shocker, and I went trick-or-treating with a younger friend. At this point in time my mom was paying for Jay's new apartment because she just wanted him gone. Well, he broke into our apartment, took my puppy for a walk. Weird time to care about a dog while committing a crime, but hey, my dog had fun and smashed everything. My mom decided instead of calling the police she would confront him with me alone. So we went, and as a precaution my mom had a knife on her. We went, and when we got there was a girl with Jay. A fight ensued and I called 911. I also beat the everlasting sh*t out of Jay. Unfortunately my mom couldn't see that and thought Jay was winning. So she stabbed him. Non-lethal is fat, got it, he didn't go to the hospital. So when police showed up they gave a good look at my mom with choke marks from the fight and arrested her for assault and breaking and entering. Chapter 4, Leaving Florida and having a very Merry Christmas. While the trial came and went, my mother is off the hook, but she will be a felon until a completion of a program. So we left him in Florida and decided to move back north to New Jersey. My mom breaking up with Jay was account to me because I pushed hard for it. Life continues. But November comes around and I received news that made me burst out in laughter. Jay's sister came forward and told us he shot himself in the head. I even read his suicide note and everything. I ruined his relationship with my mom and karma came back. Life goes on, and he dies unloved and alone. Edit. Thank you all for the supportive comments. I do want to clear up one thing. My mother has mental issues and she was diagnosed wrong. She was taking medicine that made her worse, not better. She's on track to get off her current medication and take new medication soon. Edit 2. I don't feel guilty about what happened. I actually feel angry that he's dead. I would rather have him live as a homeless bum with nothing in his life. Unfortunately, he took the easy way out, which was the bullet, but still he's dead, so I get some comfort from that. One too many times. When I was younger, especially throughout middle school, I dealt with bullying and toxicity constantly. I've never been much of a Reddit user, but I decided to post my story after watching some of these on YouTube. This situation happened when I was in 7th grade. During that time, I was progressively bullied by a group of kids I will call the Goonies. I'm not a small person and I never have been. Around that time I was around 5 feet 11 inches, 150 pounds. Although I'm big for my age, I've never been one to fight back. I have impulse control issues and ADHD, so when I get worked up I have a hard time calming down, or I got overboard. Even so, I can mostly hold back my emotions when on medication. The Goonies, the group of kids who constantly made my life hard throughout my school experience. The group comprised of 5 to 6 kids, mostly small and on the football team, but due to their numbers, they had an advantage over most people in my school. They preyed consistent on people who were without a group. Most of the time they just took food items during lunch and asked for money from others. On the bad days, they would fight others and take whatever they wanted. They had been preying on me and my group of friends for a while, mostly talking sh*t and taking food. This time was different though. I had worn my grandfather's chain and crossed a school I had gotten as inheritance when he passed the week before. When I tell you it meant a lot to me, it did. My grandfather was my pride and joy. We had the best relationship as my father was mostly out of town working. He has never been in the best health, but he got lung cancer a few months before and passed on. The chain was all I really had besides some model train sets and a ukulele. That day I wore my chain to remove some of the grief I was feeling from his passing to make it through the day. My friends knew about the passing and were trying to comfort me throughout the day. But the one class I don't have with them was gym, and in our school we are required to remove jewelry before class. That part was uneventful. The problem was when I went back into the locker room. All of the goons had gym the period after and I would see them as I was in the locker room. As I walked in and took my chain out of my locker, one of them took notice and immediately asked what I had in my hand. I, of course, wanting not to cause problems, said nothing important. I went to the bathroom to put it on, and when I walked out all of them were waiting for me. They started to tell me to give them what was around my neck. In the moment I was on the verge of tears because I didn't want to lose one of the only things I had left to remember my grandfather. So I made a run for it. They blocked the door and started punching and kicking me. I didn't want to cause a fight because I knew it would get out of hand, and I up until then had a perfect school record. When they stopped, I sat up and started to try and leave. The main Goonie, the leader of the pack, grabbed the chain and ripped it of me, breaking it and mangling the cross that my grandfather took such pride in. He started laughing as I stared at him in pure disbelief. I saw red. I lost it and started pummeling the main kid, grabbing him by his collar and smashing his head over and over again into the concrete while his friends watched, screaming to stop trying to pry me away. The gym teacher heard all of the commotion. I don't know how he didn't hear me getting jumped before, and came in running, yanking me away from main goon and locking me in his office. He called the nurse and an ambulance. He was freaking out. I got suspended for 3 months only due to cameras in the hall that could see into the window of the door. It witnessed them jumping me. The only reason I didn't get arrested was that camera. Thank God for technology. This might not seem like nuclear revenge yet, but here's the list you are waiting for. Injuries: fractured skull, broken nose, broken jaw, 8 lost teeth, and severe brain damage. He was out for 4 months, with some time in the hospital. He didn't make it back onto the football team due to the fear his head would get hit. His grades also took a hit and he had to repeat 2 years. My group, on the other hand, have been free from bullying ever since. So what do you guys think? Did I take it too far, or was it deserved? Let me know in the comments. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.